I must say this, that I'm very, very happy to see so many young faces here this evening. As a young man, I was trained as a teacher. And when I got trained as a teacher, I came into Johannesburg to take my first teaching post. And when I was just about to take over one of the institutions in Alexandria, a friend of mine, who was a relative of mine, came to me and he said, "Hey, where I'm working, they are looking for an educated black man to look after a big departmental store." And this was a clothing company. I went there. In 3 months, he said, "Look, I'd like you to help me to select clothing." He then trained me to select clothing. Just by touching a garment, I'll tell you that this is a 10 ounce, 11 ounce, or 12 ounce, or 14 ounce, and I will even tell you the origin of the garment where it's been made. If it's made in London, or it's made in Italy, or it's made in America, I will tell you that. Everything that I selected was just sold like do you know fat cakes? It was sold like fat cakes. And as a result of that, we topped the organization for 2 years. And then this gentleman, his name is Mr. Bolton, was then promoted. He then called me back into his office. He said, "Son, I don't know how to thank you. I got promoted to become a CEO of this company because of our working together. You assisted me to be where I am. But you being a black man, I don't know how to thank you, because I cannot make you a manager in this place because of your color. If at all you were a white man, I was going to make you a manager of this department. However, I'm going to thank you by giving you factory soiled clothing and samples for you to sell during after hours and during weekend and in weekends, and make a little bit of extra money for yourself." And this was the beginning of Maponya Group. I would go selling the clothing. I come to you and you say to me, "Oh, I love this, but I haven't got money." I said, "When are you going to have money?" "No, I can only have money at the end of the month." "Okay, take it and wear it. I'll come and collect my money end of the month." I introduced that scheme, and believe me, I never lost a cent. And as a result of that, I amassed quite a good capital. And when I got this capital, I knew that my calling was not teaching. My calling was to serve people in this other industry. And Mr. Bolton took ill, and he had a brain tumor, and he retired very early. And then the guy who took over after him, he got jealous when he got to know that I was given this opportunity of buying soiled clothing and garments that come from the factory, damaged. Then he took them from me. He gave them to someone else. I got angry. Then I resigned. And when I resigned, I said, I will never work for any white man anymore.
Amen.
All I did was, I came to Soweto. I then said, I'm going to establish a clothing store in Soweto. But believe me, it was very unfortunate that I was not able to do that because of apartheid time. They refused me to give me a license. And when they refused to give me a license, I then went to Mandela Tambo attorneys. There were still young attorneys who were very vibrant, and Mandela was full of fighting those days. Mr. Tambo opened my file and gave it to Nelson to represent me in court, but very unfortunately, we did not get the license to open a clothing store. I was turned down, but we kept fighting until they gave me a license to get into any business. They said to me, you can get into any kind of business for as long as it's not clothing. Then I looked around in Soweto. I realized that there was no milk delivered in Soweto. I said, I'm going to open a dairy. I built a small little dairy. I called it Dube Village Hygienic Dairy. I started with 10 guys. And in 6 months, I had 50 guys delivering milk. As you may know, those days there was no electricity, and milk being a highly perishable product, people would only buy enough to use at that time. Clover realized that there was a market in milk. They came in, they gave me a fantastic run for my money. I realized that I cannot compete with them because they come with big trucks, and refrigerated trucks. And I just said, I need to do something else. I then opened up the first butchery and then grocery. Those who live in Soweto will remember Maponya supply stores. I would have queues from sunrise until 9-10 o'clock, because I was selling grade 1 and super milk, meat only. I wanted to give my people the right quality. I even had white customers buying from me. Then I extended grocery and fruit and vegetables. I went on to get into motor industry. I got into a garage business. I got into a bottle store business. I got into a car dealership business. The first car dealership, those who live in Soweto will remember Mountain Motors, where I was selling Chevrolet motor cars and Isuzu trucks and vans, and even buses. I then went on into a transport business. I had over 8 buses traveling to homelands and going everywhere. But that was a very challenging business because it needed someone to be behind the drivers. These guys would deliver customers, and then they go and have other trips which I didn't know about. my drivers taking the diesel, selling it to other people. I didn't have much power to follow everybody because I was involved in quite a number of businesses then. However, my journey continued. I then got into the first supermarket in Soweto, Maponya Discount Supermarket. For you who live in Soweto, will remember that. My basket was cheaper than OK Bazaars, was cheaper than all other supermarkets because I didn't have the kind of overheads the big stores are having, to pay high rentals and things like that. I applied from the power that be to put up a casino in Soweto. Believe me, my application met all criteria. I had everything answered properly, but money is power. On the very last day, when we're supposed to have got the announcement of whether I've got the license or not, the guys came to me at night. They said, "Have you got 10 million?" I said, "There's nobody who can have 10 million in his pocket." They said, "No, if you have no 10 million, you may lose the license." I said, "I haven't got 10 million, but I can make arrangements. I can give you shares in the business." They said, "No, we want money. There is a guy who is giving us money, and we thought maybe you would match him, and if you match him, you get the license." I didn't have that money, and as a result of that, when we went to the boards of that day, people who were my friends, they didn't know me, they didn't recognize me, and indeed, I lost the game. But having lost the game, I did not give up. Yes. I said, I'm going on with my fund. I'm going to put now a center in Soweto, exactly where I wanted to put the mall. I'm going to put a center. I applied to the power that be. Believe me, it was very, very difficult. I was turned down so many times. But I said, for as long they don't put a bullet on my forehead, I'm going to continue fighting. And I continued fighting until 1994, when Dr. Mandela became the first president of the country. Things opened up. I now exercised my right to buy the piece of land where Maponya Mall is. At that time, I had the property on 99-year lease. I bought the property, I had security, now the title deed, and having the title deed, now I can go to the bank and ask the banks to finance me. Got to the banks, and the banks, they looked at my balance sheet. They said, look, you want a lot of money. You want 600 million. 600 million is a lot of money. Can you get a partner so that we can give you the money? They introduced me to a company. The company said, look, we will help you to prepare the documents of this project, and when it's ready, we are going to sell to the bank. I said, no, I'm not a seller. I look for another partner. Then I was introduced to one organization called ZPRO. I met wonderful guys who, when they saw my plans, they saw an opportunity of also making a little bit of money. After all banks, all of them, they promised me to give me the money. But subject to this, subject to that, I'll continue talking with no result whatsoever. And this is exactly what is happening now.
Yeah, that's true.
It's exactly what is happening now with our aspirant young black fellows who come up with their wonderful business plans. And they have been turned down, and they have been asked this and that and so on. That is what I thought our government, in 20 years in power, they would have changed the situation by having a bank that would not look at a black man like a white man. We never had the opportunity of amassing wealth. We haven't got security. What we have is the brain.
Yes.
We definitely have the brain, and we prove this beyond doubt that we have the brain. I'm not talking of politics now, but I'm just telling the truth. Our faith is still alive. There's no doubt about it. I built the mall, and my journey continued. We are still continuing building properties. I continued. I'm now in the farming industry.
Yeah.
I looked at an opportunity in chicken business. I am now owning over 100,000 birds laying eggs. I'm supplying the Pick and Pay. I'm supplying all the hospitals in Pretoria. Now I'm just appealing to you, young fellows, that please work hard, get educated, and when you are educated, you must not look at the government giving you bread. Wake up and do things for yourselves. Our concern is to see that our young, educated, black boys and girls must get the opportunity of working, of being employed or getting into business in their own right. I think we have to declare war against poverty. We have to declare war against unemployment. Yeah. Thank you very much indeed.